Welcome to Startup Hack. All right, we are definitely seeing a bombshell hit the AI world, right? DeepSeek, the Chinese startup, has been making waves across the last weekend and into this week. And it's an astonishingly powerful model that is super cheap and open source. And it's got people like Silicon Valley titans like Facebook and NVIDIA, and they're running scared. So let's dive in today and talk about what's going on. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thompson. Here at Startup Hack, we train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years of software development, I've mastered tech team and products. All right, so DeepSeek's new R1 model is not just outperforming the best of the likes like OpenAI has to offer, but it's also doing it at a fraction of the cost and with fully open source approach. That's right, you can download and run this locally, build it into your applications, and it's totally sending shockwaves and cutting the legs out of the industry, right? Because they want to guard their secret that's making them billions and almost trillions of dollars, right? This is a $1 trillion industry, and DeepSeek just came out of their garage essentially and just kicked them in the shins, right? So we're going to dive in today and talk a little bit about some of the far-reaching implications of DeepSeek's rise, and from the boardroom of big techs to the trenches of software development. So first of all, Facebook is absolutely floundering in their response, right? And they're in full panic mode as they go into their war room and try to figure out what they're going to do. So it's been reported that Zuckerberg's spun up 4 different war rooms of engineers to try to crack DeepSeek's code. He's desperately trying to figure out how this little small startup achieved such mind-boggling results so efficiently. Now, this highlights how even the most resourced giants have been caught flat-footed by the paradigm shift that DeepSeek seems to have figured out in their training, right? And Facebook is absolutely flailing to try to figure out what to do, right? So let's check out this report and take a look here and see and check out this report of what's going on here. So Meta assembled 4 war rooms of engineers to respond to potential breakthrough that AI development spearheaded by Chinese startup AI DeepSeek. And Zuckerberg's Meta assembled went into this to try to determine what's going on with this, right? Now, the potential groundbreaking open source tech has called into question the gargantuan AI investments made by American companies and has put Meta AI dedicated teams on high alert. And so their infrastructure director has reportedly told colleagues that DeepSeek's newest model could outperform even the next version of Meta Llama's AI, and that scares the crud of them. So basically everything they were going to try to release this year, DeepSeek just beat them, right? So of the 4 war rooms Meta has created to respond to DeepSeek's potential breakthrough, 2 teams will try to decipher how high flyer lowered the cost of training and running DeepSeek with a goal of using these tactics for Llama, right? So they want to go figure this out because they do not want to let go of their big purse, their money bags, right? Now, they're not the only ones scrambling right now, right? You can definitely guess everybody who has any kind of AI project right now is immediately rushing to see what's going on with DeepSeek. NVIDIA, the GPU giant that's been riding high on AI hype, is also hitting a brick wall. In the wake of DeepSeek news, NVIDIA stock plummeted over 20% yesterday. That's a $600 billion wipeout. It's the worst in the company's history. So the DeepSeek's energy-efficient approach is a direct threat to NVIDIA's business model of trying to sell higher and higher and bigger AI chips. See, DeepSeek has been throttled by what chips they can get a hold of. So they had to figure out a more efficient approach using older chips and that aren't like that are yesterday's news, right? And this exposes how much of NVIDIA's valuation was built on hype and froth rather than on fundamentals. And so we'll go to this report here and check this out because you see that NVIDIA has the worst day in history because of DeepSeek upended them, right? So this is AI Sputnik moment, which a lot of people are saying, and it just absolutely clobbered NVIDIA, right? And there was a huge reality check coming in where they built this series, this AI contender, right? And so it's made a lot of CEOs really skeptical of what's going on. And, did we just waste billions of dollars, right? Like, that's crazy. And this is what's happening. So we definitely see that some of these are starting to tick back up a little bit, but yesterday NVIDIA got absolutely clobbered with this, right? And so there's some people who are trying to buy in low, I think, because they do think that, the rich guys are never going to lose. And so we want to, we're sure that NVIDIA is going to come back out swinging. And ultimately, because DeepSeek is open source, these guys will eventually figure it out, right? Now, DeepSeek also claims it's been the target of massive sustained hacking attempts since the breakthrough. Now, there's definitely some speculation swirling that deep pocket rivals like NVIDIA, OpenAI, Microsoft, or some of the others might be trying to slow down DeepSeek, right? Because right now they're topping the App Store for free downloads. They are topping, distros like Olama, as well as Hugging Faces, because this is an open source model, so you can download it and run it on your machine. So while it could be the case that DeepSeek is just being overwhelmed by the sudden popularity, I'm going to give it that. My tinfoil hat is definitely on this morning to say that, look, there's an AI arms race. And this is where cyber warfare, I don't think some of these companies are going to be above that, right? Now, if your company is having some problems with your connected systems, reach out, because here at Startup Hack, we love to help. And our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work like a well-oiled machine. Now, right now, the one who's really on the ropes is OpenAI. This DeepSeek juggernaut has OpenAI reeling and scrambling to adapt, because again, they're going to be running somewhere near, DeepSeek is already ahead of the next model that they're supposed to be releasing. So I think this really could be a big problem for OpenAI. And I think it definitely raises big questions about the sustainability of OpenAI's heavy spending model, because essentially they just kept saying, we got to go spend more. And there's a report out there that if OpenAI doesn't raise money in the next 12 months, that they're going to go bankrupt, right? Now, Microsoft and their partnership has even started to go, but AI is hemorrhaging funds as training costs for its models continue to go up. Now, the problem with this is that when a new model that only comes in, costing, 5 or 6 million to train, like these guys are inferring that their training costs could be as high as $7 billion this year. Now, when you go from $1 billion to $1 million, this isn't just like 1,000, it's a big jump, right? That is a ton of difference of money, right? So this is just ridiculous. And I've constantly been touting this as ridiculous, because I don't see why these companies need this much money. They need to get innovative and dive in. And that's what DeepSeek did, right? They had an efficiency edge. The most mind-blowing aspect of this whole DeepSeek achievement is that they did this with $6 million price tag. Now, OpenAI and others are spending somewhere. So Facebook said they're spending over $100 million. You just saw that report that was saying that OpenAI is going to spend over $7 billion training all of its different models this year. Now, DeepSeek's lean approach and algorithmic innovation allows it to do more with far less. And this completely upends the conventional wisdom about what's possible in AI development. So I'm actually going to make a video. So you want to make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm making a video that I'm working on right now where I'm going to show you how I can run DeepSeek's models on a Raspberry Pi. That's how much you can take this open source and run them locally. And this has OpenAI absolutely terrified, because DeepSeek's decision to open source its breakthrough model is totally scaring the whole AI world right now. If you look at, OpenAI, which has jealousy and has guarded its models and its APIs, DeepSeek is essentially democratizing access to the state-of-the-art AI, empowering researchers and devs worldwide. This could unleash a huge explosion of innovation as we see this powerful model come out, right? So I'm a huge fan of this, because I think the AI confidence needs to collapse. AI hype has reached fevered pitch, and I think this is going to be one of the terminuses that we see here. The recent Stack Overflow survey revealed that only 3% of developers highly trust AI. Those who know about AI do not trust it, right? One researcher put it, the more you know about AI, the less you trust it. DeepSeek's success will only fuel more scrutiny as hard as questions about AI world readiness. Now, I know people are saying, but that doesn't make sense. You just said they released a really good model that beat everybody else at a fraction of the cost. But still, the point to it is that you can see that these reports are coming out with, like, everybody's saying, oh, it's going to replace developers, right? Well, there's a recent report that was that somebody went, let me pull this report up here, And a tool touted as the first AI software engineer is as bad at its job. It nailed just 15% of its assigned tasks. So only 15% of the tasks actually worked. So if that's the level you want for your software developer, knock yourself out, right? I genuinely wish you the best of luck. Now, I do think it's a great tool. I think it's a great tool for research. I think it's a great tool for data analytics. I think it's a great tool for a lot of things. We even use it to write a lot of boilerplate code and test code. If you're having a hard time with an algorithm, you just need another pair of eyes. It's a quick, cheap way to do that without bothering another developer, right? There's a lot of good uses for it. But Devin is definitely the best, and it's autonomous AI software that engineer that can write, run, and test code, right, is what it declares. But the reality of the matter is when you go and review that code, it scored 15%. Okay, so if you want to see 15% success on your software, go for it, man. I don't know about you, but for me, that's nowhere near close to what I need to be seeing. Now, this is the other part that's really scary here. I'm going to pull up this next report here. If even 1% of an AI's training model is misinformation, the whole thing becomes compromised. It's incredibly easy to catastrophically poison an entire large language model. So this is really scary because if there's something that's that easy to dive into and break this is really scary, right? So a detailed paper published by the Journal of Nature Medicine, first spotted by Ars Technica, the team found that despite being error prone, corrupted LLMs still perform just as well as open source benchmark routines used to evaluate medical LLMs as their corruption free counterparts. Now that's terrifying because it means their benchmarks that they're using to test this against are bad, right? This means that if you know that you're injecting bad information and it can regurgitate that bad information, these can't be trusted. So they even say in the paper, we hope to raise awareness of the emergent risk from LLMs trained indiscriminately on web scrape data, particularly in healthcare where misinformation can potentially compromise patient safety. And this is what I've been trying to tout here at Startup Hack for a long time. AI is a great tool. And I tell my developers all the time, look, AI is not going to replace you, but a developer who knows how to use AI might, right? Calculators didn't replace the mathematicians. Mathematicians are actually higher demand now than they have ever been. But the developers who knows how to use AI is definitely one who's going to become more powerful than one who doesn't, right? So we definitely need to be working, and we're seeing this seismic event go around the world right now. And as the DeepSeek saga unfolds, we can expect more twists and turns and breakthroughs. I think we're going to see OpenAI start to crumble. I think this is going to be the beginning of the end of this AI bubble, right? Now, I like this because I think this is going to end up being better for developers. We've proved that AI is a good tool, but we got to figure out how to harness that tool correctly. And so just the same way that calculators didn't replace mathematicians, AI is not going to replace developers. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love to have a great conversations here at Startup Hack. We love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps, as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. So hit us up at startuphack.com/Spencer because we'd love to help. And